Wednesday morning. It's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum, and for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world. We'll look at the market watch, stocks we're paying attention to, plus all the local and national stories that you need to know. The CPI report came out this morning. Not good news here as well, so prepare yourself as we go to the market watch. Then, of course, oil prices going up here this morning as well. The Iran reportedly shot down a helicopter, United States helicopter over the Strait of Hormuz yesterday or overnight. U.S. is vowing response to that. Oil prices going up today as well. So we'll get to that consumer price index here in just a few minutes. But first, let's get into that market watch. As you can expect, with just the news I just kind of gave you there, it's been not a good day here on the market. Dow Jones right now is down 133 points, 50,697. Right now, the S&P 500 is down 5 points at the moment, 73.74. Then you get into, and I apologize, folks, here's computer's going a little bit slow. The Nasdaq's down 63 points right now. The Nasdaq is 25,615 for the Nasdaq. Russell 2K, the only one kind of up right now. Yeah, 38 points up for the Russell 2K, the small cap index, kind of bucking the trend out there. 28.94 for that small cap index. Then there's Bitcoin. Also, I guess you could say bucking the trend here today, but still at that 62,090 range right now after being at 78,000 just about a week ago now, week and a couple days. So now maybe this is the floor. We said this last week, and it kept going down, 62,115, kind of where it was yesterday as well, kind of where we stand now as well. We're going to talk about, obviously, chips are selling off today. We're going to look at those stocks again here in just a minute. It's been a roller coaster for the chip stocks here. Trump-Iran threat causing gas oil prices to go up here this morning, and then three-year inflation high with that CPI report, all kind of jolting the market here this morning as well, which we told you stocks we're going to pay attention to. We're going to start with those chip stocks. One day they're up, one day they're down, one day they're up, 2 days they're down, one day they're up. Micron Technology is the first one we're looking at today, 0.26% down as of right now. Pre-market trading, this was down 5%. So not as down as much since the market has opened here today. Next up, we're going to look at advanced micro devices. You know it is AMD. We've been spending a lot of time here since last Thursday looking at these chip stocks. Barely down today, 0.11% down right now. It was down over 4% in pre-market. So there's been a buyback here early in market day trading here today. Whereas yesterday, there was a big sell-off as the market opened on these chip stocks. Today, a little bit of a buyback on these stocks as well, as AMD is kind of teetering between positive and negative right now. And then there's Broadcom out there, down 3% in pre-market. Well, still down 3%, 3.08% for Broadcom here this morning as well. So these chip stocks, they rival these markets is because one goes up, they all go up. One goes down, they all go down, and they're affecting the market here since last Thursday with this roller coaster ride we've been on with the chip stocks. Later on, when we come back and look at stocks, we'll focus on Super Micro Computer, more of a server hardware side of the business there for computers. We'll look at them. We'll look at Cracker Barrel and even Chewy out there, you pet lovers, you spending a lot of money at Chewy, are we? Well, we'll look at all those stocks coming up here later in the program. But first, let's get right into the big story of the day. Yeah, like I said, Iran battle could be flaring up again with that helicopter being shot down, Black Hawk helicopter being shot down over the Strait of Hormuz. Trump vows a retaliation to that, causing the oil prices to go up. But here at home, the consumer price index came out this morning. You know that. It's a broad gauge of goods and services across the U.S. economy, and not good, folks. It rose at a seasonally adjusted 0.5% for the month, which unfortunately puts the annual inflation rate at 4.2%. We haven't seen it get up into this 4% number in quite a while now. We get all this from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Both numbers were in line with the estimate numbers. The monthly number was zero point 0.1 percentage points below the April reading. So they've been factoring in this inflation for a while now here in these in kind of the expectation of these reports. But this is the first time in 3 years that inflation's climbed above that 4% level. The increase did meet expectations, though. Like I said, that's so it's not a shocker number. It's just you don't want to be at 4%. But obviously, there's a ton of concerns over how much the energy pricing and the increase in energy pricing over the last couple months is going to impact the economy. So the highest last time it was this high, April 2023, and it of course above the 3.8% reading that happened in April as well. We've seen the inflation number ticking up over the last few months. But if you want to strip out food and energy prices, which are very volatile, so they call this the core CPI, it accelerated 0.2% for the month, 2.9% from a year ago. The annual rate, that was in line with the forecast for the core CPI. The monthly gain was actually below the estimated amount, that was 0.3%, and it was also less than the April increase of 0.4%. That means food and energy is driving the big increase number here. Mostly energy driving the inflation rate up in this current state that we're in. Well, so we delve into this report, it indicates that much of the inflation surge came from that 3.9% jump in those energy prices. So the 12-month increase for energy prices, it's at 23.5%. Energy prices are driving this inflation rate up right now. Everybody said it would be tariffs. Nobody anticipated it being energy prices. Core commodity prices, they posted a 0.1% decline on the month, which means muted tariff pressures happening right now in the economy. If you want to look into specific things, food, it's only up 0.2% for the month. Shelter costs, well, it rose 0.3%. Why is everybody going to pay attention to shelter costs? Well, the Fed is meeting next week, and shelter costs are a key input for Fed policy out there. So both of those half the gain of their April numbers as well. Shelter does make up more than one third of the CPI weighting. It rose 3.4% annually for the shelter cost. Transportation services, they fell 0.6%. Well, that's showing that the high energy costs, they're not filtering into other areas in the economy. It's just sticking to the filter areas, not feeding into other categories. Services, less energy services, they're an indicator of whether higher oil costs are bleeding through. Well, they increased 0.3%, which is a low number because it rose 0.5% in April as well. New vehicle costs declined 0.3%. Used cars and trucks, well, they went up about 0.1% last month. Airline fares, if you're planning to travel, God bless you. You're paying a lot of money for it. Airline fares rose 2.7% as well. Obviously, energy pass through here. The higher fuel costs for the airlines pushing along to you, the consumer out there. Motor vehicle insurance, it actually went down 1.7% last month as well, according to the current CPI out there. So overall inflation, it's a bad number, over 4% here for last month, but there are some positives. It's all run by the energy price run up here. So if you can get energy prices and the situation in the Middle East fixated and solved, you're going to see those inflation numbers and those oil price numbers obviously go down. That's going to help this economy immensely because the tariffs are not affecting it as much as expected as well. Hey, let's move over to something coming up into the future, but you got to plan for this ahead of time. Of course, the Social Security Administration just released their 2026 trustee report. And bad news here as well. It does confirm that the federal retirement safety net program, it's less than 7 years away from fiscal depletion. Yeah. The Old Age and Survivors Insurance, the OASI Trust Fund, it'll completely exhaust its accumulated reserves in the fourth quarter of 2032. So once the reserve dries up, that just means ongoing tax revenues will cover only 78% of scheduled retirement benefits, which means everybody's going to get an entitlement decrease after that happens. The Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, that's the CBO, they previously warned, and we talked about it here at McCollum All Business, about the fund's insolvency date. He said that the government would not have the legal authority to make payments in excess of receipts. It would no longer be able to pay the full amount scheduled or projected under current law. So that means price decrease. And I've seen numbers anywhere from 75% of your current allocations or what you should be expecting for allocation. I've seen some numbers go as high as, as well as low as 60% of the allocation amount when this gets depleted. Social Security benefits are funded by payroll tax receipts, along with that OASI trust fund. Once the trust fund is tapped out, the federal government would only be able to pay benefits equal to incoming payroll tax revenue under current law, which means action by Congress is needed. Otherwise, benefits are going to face cuts for everyone here coming up. The Social Security Administration's latest trustees report does suggest that if Congress does alter the law to allow fund sharing between the retirement and healthier disability insurance system, the total depletion window can be extended to the third quarter of 2034. It's not even that big of a extension. It's 3 years. Following the combined depletion of both of those funds in 2034, 83% of scheduled benefits will be funded by ongoing payroll collections. So this reporting says 83% is all you will get of your 83% of your allocated amount going to you. So that's a sizable pay cut here for people needing that monthly stipend, probably more than anybody out there with that fixed income side of things. So here's an idea. Let's just stop spending all that money on other things. But I don't know. Sometimes, I'm not a politician because I sometimes make sense out there. Let's go to the business side of things here. Enough of the government doom and gloom out there that we're looking at. Well, let's go to business doom and gloom. Paramount Skydance, they've actually come out and accused Netflix of spearheading what they call a scorched earth campaign to try to poison regulators and other stakeholders against its purchase of course, Warner Brothers Discovery. This was a very explosive letter to the Justice Department. It's been one entity, I can't remember who it was, did come out with it first, like a week ago. Now we're starting to see NBC News getting copies of it, Fox News, CNN getting copies of this letter. But Paramount Skydance chief legal officer in this letter came out and went after Netflix for what he called a panic level response to the merger. And he said that it illustrates, quote, just how seriously Netflix takes Paramount as a scaled competitor, end quote. In response, of course, to a request for comment, Netflix, well, they said these claims from Paramount Skydance are absurd. Actors Union going after this mega deal. Several, what, 50, 75 A-list actors attacking this deal, saying that it's not good for the industry. The Teamsters Union doing it as well. And kind of the implication of that letter was Netflix is kind of having those entities speak up about this deal to try to wedge some disagreement in it so it doesn't go through coming up here. They're flat out blaming Netflix for the consternation as well there for Paramount Skydance. Now, it's going to move the sports side of things. And this is interesting, right? Anytime you get into large money settlements and things to that effect, seeing a lot of fraud these days, right? I mean, just watch your news here with all the fraud in certain industries around the country. It's not immune to the NFL's $1 billion settlement fund. Yeah, court officials overseeing that fund. And this is the fund for concussion related injuries for NFL players. They've now officially barred 5 law firms from handling any more claims from former players. What they found was these law firms are fraudulently steering clients toward doctors who are willing to give them a Parkinson's disease diagnosis, whether they have symptoms or not. Just everybody going into those firms are getting Parkinson's diagnosis. The 5 firms represented or performed work involving 98 former players who in recent years sought 6 to 7 figure payouts from the settlement for the Parkinson's disease claims. So the special masters appointed to help oversee the settlement wrote all this up in a report. It was filed Monday in U.S. District Court over in Philadelphia. So 37 remain pending and will now be denied of those 98 people, with a chance for the players to restart the claims process. But 57 were approved, totaled more than $95 million dollars in claims before these kind of tips came in of suspicious activity. And then they went ahead and did the audit at that point. The attorney's share of that came out to about $20 million. Additional firms may have been involved in similar actions. Only five have been barred for now, but others being attacked or being audited for this same reason. The report that was filed with the U.S. District Court called it, quote, an organized scheme in which these law firms and potentially others circumvent the settlement anti fraud safeguards and laundered questionable Parkinson's disease diagnosis into payable claims. The NFL, if you don't remember what this is back in 2013. They agreed to establish the fund, and the fund is meant to last for 65 years as players get older, diagnoses happen, so the money would be there. Well, it's draining quicker than they thought it would because of things like this. It's all to settle the class action allegations that it long hid what the NFL knew about the, of course, playing with concussions and the results of that, long term results. The plan offers retired players baseline testing and compensation of up to $5 million dollars for the most serious illnesses linked to football concussions. So, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, um, lateral sclerosis, even as far up as death, right? Including, CTE out there. Even if you move on from this world because of CTE or CTE related reasons, you can still qualify here for these benefits for your family members. The league has previously expressed concerns about doctor shopping or other fraud in the disbursement of the money. Some attorneys representing players have accused the league of throwing up roadblocks for players seeking payment. A judge back in 2019, it was not the first time. In 2019, a judge terminated three of four lawyers serving as class counsel after they objected to restrictions on geographical restrictions to the doctors who can evaluate retired players for dementia and other brain injuries. So, anytime large sums of money's become involved, you got to pay attention to the fraud angle as well. Yeesh. These stories just kind of rifle you up a little bit, don't they? Hey, pay attention to this because Meta Platforms does have a giant data center and five building data center being built. Some of them, a couple of the buildings are already open, and that's out by my house out there in the East Valley. But Meta Platforms, if you're looking for a job or know somebody that is, they're offering free training for people to actually work in its data centers, and they guarantee you a job in a skilled trade after you complete a 5-week course with them. So Meta announced on Monday that it's committing $115 million to the program. It's open to qualified veterans, career changers, and even others who want to enter the skilled trades. So it's called America's Workforce Academy. It'll first launch in Indiana, Louisiana, Ohio, and Texas. But Meta cited a nationwide shortage in fiber technicians, welders, plumbers, electricians, those skilled tradespeople that are needed to build data centers. Here's what they said, quote, every graduate will leave with a verified industry standard credential in high demand fields, electrical, mechanical systems, plumbing, fiber installation, etc. So you're guaranteed a job when you get through it as well. I know there's not one in Arizona as of yet, but something you might be interested. I know the chip industry, like TSMC, has programs like this as well that you can go into, do a several week program, come out, have a job up there, Taiwan Semiconductor, and things to that effect. So we're seeing more and more of this type of stuff where instead of going to an outside school, get trained by the companies as well. We got two food stories for you today. The first one we're going to hit up right now as well. And it's only good for today. And if you have your old Book It pin from 1992 or 1998, whenever you did your Book It stuff for Pizza Hut, well, today, Pizza Hut's offering a free personal pan pizza to any customer who brings in a Book It button. Those are distributed to participant of their long-running reading program. And by long-running, I mean it was introduced in 1984. Book It is Pizza Hut's free reading incentive program for students in preschool through 6th grade. Students are encouraged to set a monthly reading goal, and if they reach it, they receive an award certificate for a free personal pan pizza. Book It offers programming during the school year. Mainly the summer is when they focus on it a lot. Obviously, kids out of school at that point. The Book It Summer of Stories program kicked off on June 1st. It runs all the way through August 31st if you're interested in that. So if you're interested in signing up your student for the Book It Summer of Series program, well, just simple. Go to the Book It mobile app from Apple's App Store or Google, of course. You guardians have to complete a quick enrollment to establish a student's profile, establish monthly reading goals associated with each student's profiles as well. You track books completed in each student's profile. They then, when they complete it, they get their certificate. But they're honoring any year Book It pin. Is my point here. Free personal pan pizza if you held on to your Book It pin from when you were a kid out there as well. Not just kids today out there. And if your kids have done it over the last several years and you still have those pins, go get yourself a free personal pizza there from a Pizza Hut as well. Later on, we got another food story that I'm super interested in. Let's see how this is going to taste. We'll come up with that here in just a little bit as well. Appreciate you joining us here on this Wednesday edition of McCollum on Business. When we come back, local stories for you, including, I'll just tell you, M&M has a new flavor, folks. I know a lot of people don't necessarily like this flavor. I'm a fan of it. Kind of like it. It can be overwhelming. So it is a cautionary tale here. We'll tell you about that coming up. But the state of Arizona has a budget, folks. We'll talk about that as well. So come on back. McCollum on Business. And we're back here, McCollum on Business. Don't forget, we're live here on YouTube. TME Media AZ is where you can find us on YouTube. Share us with your friends out there. Like, subscribe the page as well. Got some side shows coming up for you guys here. Movie reviews is going. We're just trying to work on timing and things to that effect here. I know it sounds like just get it up there, man. It's not that hard. You know, sometimes schedules have changed that we're going to do it, and so we had to adjust some things out there. So we're working on that. Discussions we had last night. This show is having a few, I'm not going to say changes coming up, but some additions coming its way as well. We got some people working on that behind the scenes. Of course, all on TME Media AZ. Follow and subscribe to that page as well. As soon as we're done here, we move into the main event, live here on YouTube as well. Me and 17-year NFL veteran Dale Hellestrade gets you updated on the sports world, live on YouTube, and everything is on demand on YouTube. As soon as we're done, we get it uploaded here to YouTube. Also over on Rumble, rumble.com/user/TME Media. If you're not a YouTube fan, you prefer Rumble, it's over there. And our main program over there and why we're on Rumble is The Real Matrix, Fridays at noon. Part 3 of the Charlie Kirk saga is going to be up this Friday at noon. The first 2 parts are up as well over there on Rumble. Of course, free podcast system for that show as well. Just search The Real Matrix Angry Patriot on your favorite podcast system. for that as well. A lot of people listening to the podcast, a lot of people watching it on Rumble as well. All of our programming is on demand on Rumble also over there. YouTube, everything else except for the Real Matrix is on YouTube. So follow it on demand. Of course, free podcast systems. This show doesn't have one. The main event does. The pit stop does as well. And the pit stop this week, just so you guys know, will be up tomorrow, not normal Wednesday. I'm not feeling too well today, and might have to hit up the doctor later on. And so anticipating that. So we're just going to not stress out and do the pit stop tomorrow. That'll be up on demand there on YouTube as well with this weekend's racing coming up. It's normally out on Wednesdays. Got to slide it a little bit today. Everything's fine. Just anticipating. I'm trying to get ahead of this kidney stone problem I've been having, folks. Yeah, it's flaring up a little bit again. Geesh. But anyway, enough of that nonsense. We talk about that too much on the main event as well coming up here. But pit stop tomorrow. And folks, well, let's get into that Market Watch. The Market Watch with no sound out there, which is perfectly fine. I can do the sound for you. Do I sound like a cash machine there? Yeah, it's just a trying day here on the markets. Not as bad as you think it would be with all the news that's out there. Bit of Hormuz, Black Hawk helicopter shot down there. President Trump saying that there will be a retaliation for that. Oil prices are going up because of that talk. Trump's exact words were, Iran will pay the price as well. And he says they've taken too long to agree to a deal. Well, the Dow Jones right now is down 155 points. The S&P 500 is actually up 8 points right now. The Nasdaq's up 17 points here this morning. Then the Russell 2K, 47 points up. So everything was down earlier, and now kind of going up to the positive side here. Chip stocks were selling off early today, starting to buy back as this market's gone on. We showed you those stocks at the beginning of the show as well. Bitcoin, well, it's up today, just barely, but still in that 62,000 range for Bitcoin here today. Is that hopefully 62,000 is the bottom here. As soon as I say that, look at that, it goes to 61,999 something, back up to 62 now as well. Hey folks, let's get into the stocks we're paying attention to right now. Super Microcomputer down big today, 12.11%. The company announced it plans to raise $7 billion in equity-related deals to help cover the costs of hardware component purchases. Yeah, anytime you do $7 billion in equity-related deals, yeah, people get alarmed by that because more debt's coming your way. 12% down for Super Microcomputer. Now let's talk about my favorite Southern country-themed restaurant chain, Cracker Barrel out there. It's up big today, 27.44%, folks. Full-year revenue and adjusted EBITDA guidance, yeah, all positive for them. Cracker Barrel reported 29 cents per share, while the expectation was a loss of 48 cents per share. That's a big switch, folks. A loss of 48 to 29 cents per share gain on that. They said they had $797.4 million. The estimate was only $776.7 million. Hey, turns out you don't mess with the brand and your company can do all right out there. Cracker Barrel on the rebound after all those mistakes from last year out there. And then pet retailer Chewy is the next stock we're going to look at, down 1.42% here today. Was up earlier, kind of having a sell-off right now. Its first quarter results were better than anticipated. Chewy's adjusted earnings, they came in at $253.1 million. The expectation was only $241.6 million expected from analysts. Revenue was $3.36 billion, slightly above the estimate of $3.35 billion, but still Chewy, impressive numbers. They were up earlier, about 4%. Well, they're 0.98% down right now as the market day has continued, as we're about an hour into the market day as well. And before we get to the local stories out there, Ann says, love the Book It program, but she also says, I know I don't have my pin. You should have held on to that thing. You should have hoarded that pin, Ann. Could have had a free personal pan pizza today. And she says, I'll have to look into it for my kids. Yeah, you got the summer program just started, a week ago, 9 days ago? So it's probably not too late to get signed up for that this summer. And you have kids in that range, Ann. Get them signed up. If anything, one, when they complete it, personal pan pizza at that time, but also every year Pizza Hut does the personal pan pizza days. Like today, if you have that book it pin out there as well. And don't forget, join our chat on YouTube as well, TME Media AZ, for any of these business related stories. And folks, it is official. The day a lot of people didn't think would happen here in Arizona. Yeah, Governor Katie Hobbs and the key Republicans that have been arguing back and forth, they've agreed to a spending plan, $18.3 billion spending plan, no less. It's being presented to the lawmakers this week. It preserves the approximately $450 million a year in tax cuts that the GOP lawmakers proposed. This is what mirrors the big, beautiful bill that passed regular Congress. This was a big sticking point here over the last several months where they've been arguing about this. So Hobbs said she was not willing to accept the big, beautiful bill tax cuts. Well, she did. Mainly an increase in standard deduction for those who do not itemize on the state income tax forms. But then there's also no tax for tips going through and overtime, which is all part of that big, beautiful bill out there. But then so it's in there. Then the governor, well, she had to do other provisions sought by Republicans that conform state tax laws to the federal statutes. Things like hundreds of millions of dollars in tax breaks to special interest. That's what she called it there as well. So, including tax cuts for the businesses and the wealthy. She fought that. Well, she ended up losing it as well. That is in this bill. So she had to accept those larger tax cuts than she wanted and anticipated. Well, she also had to give up her plans to raise various taxes and fees to fund, her budget, her $18.7 billion budget she proposed back in January. That would have funded various new and expanded programs, and she had to kind of push that aside. I know there's a moratorium on tax breaks for data centers in this list as well, meaning data centers can still be built. They're just not going to get the tax breaks now moving forward. A moratorium, they're not getting rid of it, just a 3-year moratorium from that side. So Governor Katie Hobbs did have to, and did eventually, I shouldn't say have to, but she did give in to those tax cuts based off of the federal level moving forward. Goes to the main Senate now where they have to vote on it, but the agreement is in place here between those two sides for the spending bill. Now, interesting story here over in Gilbert. I saw this over the weekend and I didn't quite understand it and looked more into it, but there's a whole strip mall over in Gilbert. It was ordered to shut down and evacuate. Inspectors determined the building was unsafe for anybody to be inside of it. We have no idea how long they will have to stay out because now major rehab is going to have to be done on these buildings. Gilbert Fire and Rescue informed the owner of the strip mall, which is you see it on your screen there, but 111 North Gilbert Road. I drive by this just the other day, actually. They told the owner about the safety hazard on Monday. Tenants were instructed to gather essential belongings and vacate the retail center on the east side of Gilbert Road, just south of Houston Avenue, between Guadalupe and Baseline Roads. If you don't know where this is, there's a U-Haul on the corner, Napa Auto Parts right there as well. Kind of the area we're dealing with. The strip mall was built back in 1986. Multiple businesses there, obviously. Cafe de Bangkok, Jeannie's Grooming, TLC Wash and Clean, Toker's Vape and Smoke, among other several businesses. So, according to the city, the fire department identified issues with load-bearing walls and foundation during multiple inspections. Now, to reopen, the owner must complete the repairs necessary to meet safety standards before businesses can actually go back in. Individual tenants, they might be able to return on a case-by-case basis. So, like, for instance, if the repairs are done on their section, well, they can kind of appeal to get back into that building. This is not going to be a fast process for these businesses, but the entire site is being fenced off right now as that stuff has to happen. It is not easy to do foundation work and get things back up. These businesses are going to not survive in this entity just sitting there while these repairs be done out there as well. So interesting story. You don't see too many condemned building stories here, especially in the Phoenix area. And we got one over there in Gilbert, of all places. And then, folks, this one I'm kind of excited about. other, well, I will say candy story more than a food story. But there's a new limited edition flavor from M&M this month. You can find it only at Kroger related stores, which means fries out there. Banana nut bread flavor. Mm, I love me some banana nut bread. I'm not anticipating this is going to be good, but I'm willing to try it out there. Each candy features the classic flavor of banana bread blended with signature milk chocolate, all wrapped around a satisfyingly crunchy peanut. Yeah, that was a news release by M&M, and they put this out. It's the flavors available in 9-ounce share size pouches. Stop calling them share size pouches. It makes me feel guilty for eating the whole thing myself. I choose not to share those. The new flavors come after M&M's launched its bakery collection back in January. The collection features 3 new flavors voted on by candy fans. The new flavors, are, like I said, Kroger affiliated stores only. So that means fries here in town. New flavors in this bakery series: peanut butter cinnamon roll. Not as a big fan of that one. Lemon meringue pie and cherry chocolate cupcake. That one might be a little decent one. Banana bread M&Ms launched in those Kroger affiliated stores in June for a limited time. They are supposedly there, but while supplies last, it's already available for purchase through the Kroger website if you want to get a jump start on it. And here's the thing: are there real bananas in these? No. So just be aware for you health conscious people out there. Bananas are not a key ingredient in the new M&Ms. The candy is made with natural and artificial flavors according to their ingredients list. So just be aware if you're one of those health conscious consumers out there. Here's my biggest question about this: banana flavor tends to take over and just rummage everything. Like, I love a strawberry banana smoothie, but if you don't do it right, it's just all banana tasting, which I want some strawberry taste in there. I want to know if that's the case here. Are we going to be able to chase tackle it, or is it just all banana flavored? So, if you try it, of course, reach out to me, SMAC500 on X. Hit us up, TME Media AZ on X as well. And let us know if you try these out. I'm going to look for them as well and see if I can find them, because I'm actually interested. See how it tastes out there as well, folks. But hey, free Pizza Hut pizza today if you have the book it button. Banana flavored M&Ms among those other bakery flavors as well out there. You have to let me know how that is. Appreciate you joining me here on this Wednesday edition. Well, of course, main event coming up next. Don't forget, Pit Stop is being moved till tomorrow. We'll get it up by 2 o'clock tomorrow for you out there. We've got some news out there. We're kind of monitoring on the health of one of the NASCAR stars, Christopher Bell, after his wreck last weekend. We're going to get into all of that stuff. Wait another day, because a lot of news breaks on Wednesdays for around NASCAR. So we're going to kind of wait for some of that news cycle to roll through this afternoon. So that'll be up tomorrow, but everything's on demand. YouTube, TME Media AZ, catch us live there as well. And then, of course, over on Rumble, everything over there as well, including the Real Matrix, folks. We'll get this up on demand on YouTube and Rumble right now. Of course, rolling to the main event live here on YouTube, and then put that up on demand as well. So, folks, stay with us. Share us with your friends. Like, subscribe the pages. Like and subscribe TME Media AZ as well, our parent company for our production. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a great Wednesday night.